how do you maintain your currency, your IFR currency in your airplane? Do you do it in practice and nice days? Do you do it in the weather? Do you jump out and go fly in the weather because it's low and cloudy today? Yeah, for most of us, we got to do what I call an instrument proficiency ride, where you go up and you practice approaches. And on a nice day and VFR weather, you got to do it with the safety pod. So stick with us today on FlyWire. I need a couple of approaches to stay current. All right, today we're going to do, I need to do a little bit of instrument currency, so we're going to go shoot 3 approaches and hold. And Bob here is going to be my safety pilot. He's getting ready to do some instrument training himself, so it's a good time for him.
Morning, traffic, Bonanza 113 X-ray 5 north for a left downwind entry, 35 morning.
See how to do it. See if I can do this without making a fool of myself. So Bob's going to watch, and you are too. So first thing first is a takeoff. Let's close the door. Lean forward. Right. That's good, that's good. I'm good, you're ready? Ready to go? Trim's in the green.
Portland traffic, White Bonanza, taking active 135 and departing to the west for Portland.
It winds from the left. I like to use a little bit of aileron into the wind. Count the takeoff. What I need to do is I need to get foggles with cheaters on them. My sunglasses have cheaters right down here at the bottom. All right, I think that what we might do is to use the autopilot. This whole thing on GPSS. See how that works.
Aircraft 10133, I'll be holding left view space land.
Let's put that over there and listen to the
altimeter 2981. Remarks: density altitude 3000. Mineral Wells Airport. Automated weather observation 2010 Zulu. Wind 340 at 09er. Peak gusts 16. Visibility 10. Sky condition scattered 4,009er 100. Temperature 29er Celsius. Dew point 18 Celsius. Altimeter 29er 81. Remarks:
all right. Pretty big altimeter change. What I guesstimated it was going to be. Got to fly the autopilot to level off at the altitude you want. I just changed the baro setting, so we lost 100 some odd feet. But I can trim it back to climb back up. We're 3.5 miles out, and I like to be at about 120. I want to shoot my approach at about 120. I'll pull back another inch. There we go. There's traffic right 2 o'clock. Looks like about 2 miles, 500 feet above us.
climbing. Doing about 100 knots. 4.5 miles away. Autopilot's not super at maintaining exactly the altitude. I've still got some tweaks to do. I've had a little autopilot work done. I have to do some more. Autopilot's a wonderful thing, especially single pilot IFR. But if it's, I always monitor it pretty closely. Here's east. And if it's not doing what I think it's going to be doing, I disconnect it. I want to hand fly it. It's a Reagan thing. Trust but verify. Right, Bob?
That's correct.
All right. The autopilot is doing its thing. One turn, the course correction maneuver, the one turn and holding here at east. Trying to figure out what the winds are. That was a direct entry. Been studying that, right? Direct entry, parallel. Teardrop.
Direct entry.
So basically, what we want to do is outbound to beam, we want to start timing, and we're looking for at least 1 minute. We want to gauge 1 minute inbound. So let's see, we are almost there. All right, we're outbound to beam. Start timing. And if we did multiple turns in holding, what we'd do is we'd adjust our outbound leg so we would have at least 1 minute inbound. And the box actually ought to do all of that for us. So we're just going to monitor it at this point.
I've got visual on the bend tower.
All right. So our mids are 1174. I'm going to go ahead and dial that in. I probably should have gotten it all done before. There we go, 1174. I'm going to bump that up to 1180. Yeah, the tower is really close, as you can see in holding. It's right there. You don't want to be much lower than the holding altitude, or you're going to run into it. All right, it's going to 4 miles in this holding pattern. On turn, it should be turning. This is the RNAV GPS 31 Mineral Wells. Approach course is 310. Runway landing, we have just under 6,000 feet. Touchdown zone is 974. This approach is climbed to 1,600 and climbing left turn to 4,000 direct east and hold. We listen to the ASOS, and we have the Unicom up. We'll descend to Kudus out of 3,000, and once past east down to 2,500 at Kudus, and then follow it down. We are not doing an LNAV, so we don't need the VDP. Our LPV minimums are going to be 1174, and we have 1180 dialed in. Okay. that. And I'm going to go ahead and change my altitude. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a buffer. It says not below 2,500. I'm going to set 2,600 and we'll use that as our reference altitude. Trim down a little bit. The autopilot's not doing a super. Alright, so when we get to east, we can descend out of 3,000 down to above 2,500. I'm going to do that is I'm going to deselect altitude. I'm going to trim the autopilot down, then I'm going to hit pre-select over here and let the autopilot pick up my preset altitude right there in the Aspen. Mile to go. Like the battery expired on that. Pisses me off. I just have to do it later. Busy. Deselect altitude, start a descent. I like about 400 to 500 feet per minute. Feels like it might be too much. Let's see. Yep, that's too much. Get altitude pre-select. Pull 2 inches of power off. Keep the descent coming. And there's the warning, 100 to go. Getting ready to level off here. See if the altitude pre-select works. Click. There it is. Still 4.5 miles from Kudus, and looks like everything's going pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach. Pull off another inch or so, or a little bit faster than I'd like to be. Let's, come on, climb back up to altitude. Three and a half miles.
Got a target outbound.
I see him right here on the map.
Okay.
He's 1,800 feet above us.
Center Wells traffic, Bonanza 8 Whiskey Bravo is 3 miles from Kudus on the RNAV 31, low approach to Mineral Wells.
2.8 miles.
Okay, no factor.
He should be off.
Yeah, he's turning right.
All right, glide slope's alive. That's a good sign. And the 750 says LPV. That's where we check right there. Put that inch back in. All right, the autopilot is all coupled up. It's on approach, coupled. It sees the lateral and the glide path. So what ought to happen as we hit Kudus glide path? It ought to start down the glide path. What I'm going to do is put the gear down at the final approach fix. There is the glide path. Kudus, gear down. Take 2 inches off of manifold pressure. Gear down, flaps to half. All right, looks like it's following. We're at 100 knots. I do not need my Aspen for altitude anymore, reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put missed approach altitude, which is 4,000. I have my men's reference here as 1180. All right, missed approach altitude set. Pilot's doing its thing. Thousand feet, we're going down to 1180.
Center Wells traffic, Bonanza Whiskey Bravo is 2 miles straight in for 31, Center Wells low approach.
.500 warning, Bud. You've got something similar on your 500, Bob, your Bonanza. Pilot's working hard today. 100 feet. You can see if we're doing localizer, it needs a BDP, and you kind of need it at this runway. Alright, at this point we're going to go around. So I'm going to add power, stop the descent, disconnect the autopilot. Alright, I am rest of the descent. I'm going to power up a little bit more, stabilized. I get a positive rate. Gears up. Sorry, activate, unsuspend. Okay, I got my steering back. And flaps are coming up. Climb to 1600 before I turn. Here's 1600, I can start the turn.
Center Wells traffic, Bonanza Whiskey Bravo is in a left turn. Next approach, back to shoot another approach in Center Wells.
Well, today on FlyWire you saw us do a hold and RNAV approach followed by an ILS with full stop landing, and that's filled my instrument proficiency squares for the month, and so I hope you liked it. I hope you tell me what you think, what you'd like to do, how you like to keep your currency, and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, hit subscribe, and if you want to hear or get a notification of the next one, hit the bell, and you'll get a notification when the next video comes out. Meanwhile, thanks for watching. I appreciate that, and we'll see you next time on FlyWire.